Welcome to Something Witchy, a Sabrina the Teenage Witch rewatch podcast. I'm Laura Cotter.
And I'm Sky Orchard.
Sky, a week from today, the day that we're recording, not the day that you people are listening to this, it's my birthday!
It's your birthday!
I'm so excited. I'm actually not that excited this year. I do love my birthday. I'm not a person who doesn't like my birthday, but like my parents are like, what do you want? And I'm like, I don't know. And they're like, do you want us to just give you money? And I'm like, no, because I'll just spend it on like groceries and not like on fun things. Or it'll just sit in my savings account. I'll never touch it. So I'm trying to think of what I want for my birthday. It's really hard at this stage in my life because I used to ask for towels again.
Well, I already have your birthday present, so
I'm so excited.
I'm ahead.
Are you going to bring it to the hockey game?
Yes, unless I see you sooner, but probably the hockey game.
Is it something I can use at the hockey game?
In a pinch, yeah. Now I expect you to use them so I can take a photo for social medias.
I made you take a picture of the chicken Barbie last Christmas, so fair play.
True.
Sky and I and a bunch of our friends are going to go to a Grizzlies, which is the ECHL hockey league game for my birthday in December. And it's the last season that the Grizzlies will be in Utah. And they've been in Utah for as long as I can remember. But the owner passed away this past year and the family decided to sell the team. So it's really sad. And I'm too poor to pay for 10 of my friends to go to the NHL hockey game. We're not doing that.
Those are so expensive.
So expensive. And that's why I'm especially bummed about the Grizzlies leaving, because I feel like a lot of people started getting into hockey and then they looked at the Utah Mammoth tickets and were like, I'm not paying that, but I will pay $20 to go see the Grizzlies.
Right.
You still get fights. I mean, I've never been to a Mammoth game, but when I was there in January, there were people dressed up in different foam soda can mascot costumes, and they had to race each other on the ice in between the periods, and that was really fun. The other little piece of news, Kesha is maybe re-recording her Animal album, which I'm kind of excited about. So she resurrected her keshasparty.com website, which is from that era. And she's been posting a lot of the pictures from that time. And she did a post with like the Animal song on it on Instagram. And the however many year anniversary of it is on the 19th. So everybody thinks we're getting her version, the non-Dr. Luke versions, like a Taylor Swift type thing. We're going to get Kesha's version.
Ooh. Do you think she would tour and actually come back to Utah? Or did we scare her away with our Utah-isms?
I think she would come back. She's come back at multiple times, especially Salt Lake City. I think Salt Lake City gives her a good time.
Wasn't the crowd weird this year, though? I feel like I read articles because I couldn't join.
I think it depends on where you were. The crowd in our section was fine. I think there was like some lawn weirdness, but I feel like you always get weirdness on the lawn because those are the cheap seats.
Valid.
The people in the pay some money for these seats had a good time. All right. Our question of the week. It was a hard one for me to think of. Are you ready for it, Sky?
Yes, I am.
What are your thoughts on UFOs and abductions?
I think that there may be some credibility to it. I say this mainly, I feel like mostly a skeptic for most of my life, but Jill's grandfather was a member of the Air Force.
Okay.
Basically, confirmed, not confirmed, worked in/near Area 51 for some time. And I guess on like his bookshelf where he had all like his medals and whatnot, he kept all the books on like alien life directly next to them. Yeah.
Interesting.
There's a little conspiracy, Area 51 conspiracy for you.
That is weird. I think the vast majority of quote UFO sightings can be explained away. Like the number of people who post to like the Facebook neighborhood groups whenever Starlink comes by.
Oh yeah, that's hilarious.
And I'm like, you're on the freaking internet and you don't know what Starlink is at this point? And like, there's definitely correlations. Like every July 4th, the number of UFO sightings increases because it's all just fireworks. I think a lot of it can be explained. I used to have much more faith in our government that if UFOs were a thing, one, they would know about it, and two, they would cover it up very, very well. And then something's happened over the past couple of years, like massive drone sightings flying over our nation's capital that just never were addressed. And no one seemed to know where they came from or where they went or why they were there. Or Chinese weather balloons that everybody got real freaked out about. And again, we were shooting down some of them, but not other ones. And no one really had an explanation for what was going on. And now I'm like, I don't trust our government to actually keep this quiet. Do I believe there's maybe been visitors from other planets? I'm not going to say 100% no. I think there's a chance. I don't know how big that chance is. Do I think that they are abducting Midwestern farmers to perform experiments on? No.
Yeah, the abduction for conducting experiments, don't necessarily believe. Is there life out there? I feel like probably.
I'm pretty positive that is it humanoid, carbon-based? Not necessarily. Is it maybe bacteria or viruses? Yeah, there's something replicating out there that's not us. There's too much on our own Earth that we haven't yet discovered that it would be just so pretentious to assume that there's nothing else in the universe.
We're so special. We're the only ones.
I truly cannot believe in my heart of hearts that we are special. I cannot believe that this is the epitome of evolution.
Yeah. Have you seen the memes where it's like the aliens come to Earth and we're like, yes, you can take out our leaders. I'll show you the way. Thank you for coming.
Yes. I know I've talked about Sherry Lewis's daughter, Mallory Lewis, before on the podcast, the Lamb Chop. She just did a little video, the Lamb Chop puppet, singing to the tune of I Want a Hippopotamus for Christmas. I want a different president for Christmas. Maybe they have infiltrated us. You know, I've never been a real big believer in the lizard people, but that might actually explain some things.
Lizard people, eh?
I don't know. It would explain the massive amounts of plastic surgery that are happening.
That's true.
Well, feel free to weigh in on our social channels. UFOs, real or fake?
Aliens, real or fake? Tell us your abduction story.
If you've been abducted, please come on the podcast. We will interview you. Okay, let's talk about our episode now. This is season 2, episode 25, our penultimate episode for the season. The title is Rumor Mill. Are you ready for this TV guide description, Sky?
I don't think so, but hit me.
I don't think anybody is. All right. I have not changed anything. I copied and pasted. Let me try this again. The Quizmaster gives Sabrina an assignment, which she has to do in the other realm, even though it says he. A guy named Calzone tells her how she can do it easily by making up rumors. But what she didn't know is that the rumors she makes up become true in the real world. So her aunts who are on a road trip are taken aboard a UFO. Mr. Kraft and Ms. Quick become a couple. Salem becomes a Dawn, and Harvey is pregnant. She later learns Calzone has it in for her Quizmaster. I feel like this was written by a 7th grader.
I mean, at that point, why even watch the episode? You've been told everything.
I know. And like the disparity in quality and pattern of the TV guide descriptions. Sometimes there are 2 sentences. Sometimes they're a whole friggin' paragraph. I don't understand. Maybe this is why we stopped using TV Guide. Our streaming service description, on the other hand, 1 sentence. Gossip flies when Sabrina does which community service in the other realm rumor mill. Simple, clean, gives you a taste of what it's about, doesn't go into great detail.
Good job, streaming services, and whoever writes them.
Probably AI.
I'm gonna trust that humanity at least can write a TV description.
A 1-sentence synopsis.
Without relying on AI.
It originally aired May 8th, 1998. Not May 7th, which Hulu says, which is a Thursday. David Traynor returns as our director. Nick Bakay returns as our writer, and our guest stars. First off is Donald Faison as Dashiell. So he was in an earlier episode in season 1 as a different character. I do have a theory on that character. FYI, Donald Faison is going to be on the Scrubs reboot that will be coming out in early 2026. Next, we have Fred Willard as Bobby Calzone, and you should definitely recognize this man from something, if not everything. Some examples of things he was in include Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle, Anchorman, The Legend of Ron Burgundy, Modern Family, I Think You Should Leave with Tim Robinson, The Bold and the Beautiful, Drunk History, and Wall-E.
Wall-E.
I love Wall-E. Wall-E's my fall asleep movie when I really can't sleep.
What a settling movie to fall asleep to.
Beautiful music, so little dialogue. It's nice.
Minor dystopian plot point. That's fine.
Once you get past the part where he accidentally knocks over the ships and sets everything on fire, after that is real calm. Mary Gillis returns as our witch judge, which I think is the third witch judge we've had this season. Dennis Thimple is the farmer from ER, Party of Five, Weird Science, The A-Team, and The Dukes of Hazzard. Greg Lewis is Don Tutti Frutti from The Princess Diaries. The Princess Diaries 2, The Royal Engagement, Two Broke Girls, Murder, She Wrote, and Punky Brewster. Lou Castle as Don Calamari. Basically a lot of cop shows. NYPD Blue, LA Heat, Maniac Cop 3, The Badge of Silence.
Whoa.
And Robbery Homicide Division. I love when I don't put the weird one at the end, because when I'm going through, I'm just doing them in like chronological order. And lastly, we have Peter Anthony Rock as Don Don from Mouse Hunt. Do you remember that movie, Sky?
Yeah, that was a time.
That was such an acid trip of a movie. Like Home Alone with a mouse. Also from NYPD Blue and The Bold and the Beautiful. What were your overall thoughts, Sky?
I ship Sabrina and Dashiell so much over Sabrina and Harvey. Like, forget Harvey. Harvey's just a pal you kissed once upon a time. Now you have Dashiell, Sabrina.
Yes. I love that you're on the same page as me. I do think Donald Faison just plays Donald Faison. But it's okay. I love that she has a half mortal that lives near her, that she can relate to, that she can talk to about things. Is the episode the greatest in and of itself?
Not at all.
No. We have some fun, wacky magic stuff happening, but Dashiell is the star of the show, and I wish we would have gotten like a full season of these two dating.
I'm not gonna lie, this episode, I not dozed off, but like it didn't capture my attention like the actual plot, and it was like, oh wait, what just happened? Like it wasn't engaging in that way, but I do like Dashiell.
I don't love this episode because of the plot line. I love this episode because we get to meet Dashiell, and especially after earlier where she dates stupid Dante and she has a horrible experience with dating another witch. I love that we have what seem, granted, he has some sketchy relatives. Whom amongst us does not? I have a handful. But yes, Dashiell for the win. Love Dashiell. Okay, let's get into it. Our cold open. Sabrina is working on a report in the kitchen where the ants join her.
Everyone knows a good paper is 30% writing and 70% color coding your highlighters, she says, when they ask if she's completed her paper.
I feel like that's something you would do.
Oh yeah, it reminded me of how I have to color sort my M&Ms, and then I eat them by, like, you say you have a solo green, you eat that first, and then you go to like your 2 colors, and then your 3, and you count up, and then your last like enjoyable bite is every single color at once. Pop them in like pills.
So I do like, let's say you have like 5 reds, 3 blues, and 1 green. You start with your reds until you have 3 reds, 3 blues, and then you alternate until you have 1 of each. So like I start with the one I have the most of and like eat them down first. So I want to have the same number of colors.
I feel like we just do that in separate ways.
Okay. You said that you would eat your solo green first.
Yeah. So say I have 6 greens and I want ultimately 1 of each color in each pile, but I have a spare green, so I'm going to eat the green first.
Okay.
And then if I only have like 2 spare of a color, I'm going to eat that next. And I'm going to like work my way up so the last like bite or couple times is all the colors at once.
Okay, you do yours in piles. I do mine in like bar graph.
There we go.
We do the same thing though. Although I do admit I don't do that much anymore. It was more when I was a child, mostly because now when I eat M&Ms, it's like I'm moving, so I'm not going to sit down and spread them out.
Nah, M&Ms, Skittles, Starbursts even. It's got a color. It's going to happen.
Zelda and Hilda are going to take a trip, although they don't know where yet.
Here we get confirmation that Atlantis exists in this universe and that the kelp is in bloom at this time of year.
Sabrina will be alone while they're away, and she goes to tell Valerie, but Zelda zaps her and sends her back to the table to do her paper. Our outfit intro is a queen outfit, where she says, "Let them eat cake, but save me some."
I did find out recently that Marie Antoinette never actually said, "Let them eat cake." That phrase was pure political propaganda that worked clearly very, very well. It actually came from Jean-Jacques Rousseau's 1767 book Confessions, which came out when Marie was just a child in Vienna. The phrase was seized upon, obviously, utilized for the revolution. However, the phrase in France was actually "let them eat brioche."
Hilda has a stack of brochures about where to travel. Zelda proposes to go to see the world's largest ball of twine. She says they always go to the other realm and never see any real Americana. And it's in Kansas.
Zelda has clearly lost her mind. Hilda proposed either a time-space continuum excursion or the third ring of Saturn, which are science-y things that Zelda should love.
Also, if you go to the time-space continuum, it's 3 days, 2 nights, and you come back younger.
Maybe that's how they've been doing it.
Sabrina did make a joke earlier when they're like, we're going away. And she was like, is that a euphemism for getting plastic surgery?
Oh, I missed that.
Also, Salem asks to keep the twine brochure in his basket.
In a very creepy tone of voice.
Also, second reference to basket in 2 episodes.
Oh, yeah, and his wicker basket.
I was going to mention, we haven't seen Valerie since Disney World.
Oh, yeah, we haven't.
Are her and Sabrina taking a little break from each other?
Because she showed her true colors of she'll do whatever Libby says.
Mm-hmm. Salem is eyeing Sabrina's backpack for twine-carrying purposes when Quizmaster zaps into her bedroom. He asks her how her report is coming, but she still hasn't started it. And now she needs to sign up for Other Realm Community Service.
Quizmaster lets her know that community service isn't just something athletes do to avoid jail time.
She has to do charity work to get her witch's license, and she can't just phone it in. She leaves for the Other Realm and hands Quizmaster her homework.
Sabrina hands Quizmaster Walden by Henry David Thoreau, and he complains, saying something to the effect of, "Man, nothing happens in this book." Which, on a cursory level, is true.
I feel like that's one of the high school books I maybe need to go back and read as an adult.
I hated the idea of transcendentalism in AP English. But now, as an adult, something's flipped.
I felt the same way about existentialism and hated The Stranger when we read it in high school. I read it years later, like after college, and I was like, no, I get it.
I don't know if I read The Stranger.
It is the wildest. It's French existentialism, which it's French. And it's just about this guy, and he kills a man on the beach. And the whole thing is like, the sun was in my eyes and I couldn't see. So I shot the gun, and does it matter? And does anything matter? And now I'm in jail. And does that matter? And like, just about being uncomfortable and like, what is the point to anything? And I'm sure it's like much deeper than that. But like, that's how it came across to me as a high school kid. And I remember being like, this is insane. This is so stupid. Who would think that this is deep? And then I reread it and I was just like, I kind of understand it now. Because we all get into those places of like, what is the point of literally anything? And if there is no point to anything, then what's to stop you from following some crazy base instinct or desire? But yeah, it's wild. Give it a read.
The Cure released a song about it, or with an homage to it, called Killing an Arab. And then actually this August, a trailer premiered at Venice Film Festival, so we'll have a movie soon.
Nope, I don't think that one can be a movie. I don't think this is going to translate well to movie.
Well, they're trying, so...
I think it's like the Wuthering Heights movie that's coming out. And I messaged our friend Nikki and I'm like, I think I need to go see this with you because I think they're going to try to make it a romance. That book is not a romance.
That is very true.
Then I need to go see it so I can critique that movie. Yeah, I think it's going to be very hard because there's so much internal monologue and like internal suffering. That's going to be real hard to portray on the screen. Best of luck. Back to Sabrina. We will eventually get through this episode. Sabrina is perusing volunteer opportunities when she sees a boy her age in front of the Easy Way Out booth. A man arrives and greets them. He's Bobby Calzone, which is just the best name. And he's Dashiell's uncle. He also tells Sabrina that Dashiell is half mortal. Bobby is looking for a few special witches to work at the rumor mill. Rumors are the highest form of entertainment in the Other Realm. It's a morale builder. It's even proven to make witches healthier. So they both sign up.
Come on, witches need our help. Let's start our first schmear campaign, Sabrina exclaims.
When Bobby introduces Dashiell as half mortal, I know we've already touched on like the racism isn't the right word, but it's the best word I can think of for how the witches act towards mortal. So there's definitely like he's a pretty good witch for a half mortal. Like there's clearly some undertones there with this uncle to his own nephew. Hilda and Zelda are packed and ready to go. Zelda rented a pickup, an all-American vehicle for an all-American journey.
What, are they out of dump trucks? Exclaims Hilda.
Salem is also ready to go, but he has to stay home to watch Sabrina. And he has tiny little suitcases, and a little baseball hat on, and it's so cute. Salem is shocked. They tell him to water the plants and bring in the mail as he sobs.
But also, clearly he's great at stowing away, so where'd you go wrong this episode, Salem? He calls out as they leave, In Cold Blood took place in Kansas. In Cold Blood is a 1966 nonfiction novel by Truman Capote that details the 1959 Clutter family murders that took place in Holcomb, Kansas. Capote learned of the quadruple murder before the killers were captured, and he traveled to Kansas to write about the crime. He was accompanied by his childhood friend and fellow author, Harper Lee, and they interviewed residents and investigators assigned to the case and took thousands of pages of notes. The killers, Richard Hickok and Perry Smith, were arrested 6 years after the murders and later executed by the state of Kansas. Capote ultimately spent 6 years working on the book, one of his most famous works.
Oh, he's also the one who wrote Breakfast at Tiffany's.
Correct.
Didn't they just do a TV series about him? Yeah, Capote versus the Swans. It was part of the anthology series Feud, and I think it was on FX. And I think it was also streamed on Hulu. And that was wild.
Ooh, I'll have to watch it. I love how we hear Capote and you think Breakfast at Tiffany's while I'm like, In Cold Blood.
Why we work together. We both come with half. Salem also quips, would I leave you behind if I went to see the world's largest eligible bachelor? And Hilda says, yes, if we were going to unravel him. Bobby welcomes Sabrina and Dashiell to the rumor mill, a literal mill that has papers on large gears circulating throughout it. It brings joy to downtrodden witches. Sabrina points out that it seems run down. Bobby shows them how it works, writing a rumor that Sabrina's Quizmaster wears a skirt, then throws it down a black hole and word gets out. Bobby also tells him the rumors aren't true, just entertainment.
Like pro wrestling.
Are you into wrestling?
I am not, but I have some friends who are very into pro wrestling.
I feel like if I was to start getting into pro wrestling, I'd get sucked in it because it's so much world building of different alliances, and then the alliances are broken. And I think I would devote too much of my time to it, and I can't do that.
That's very valid.
He leaves them to write rumors while he checks on another business, his Stromboli business on the other side of the realm. Dashiell and Sabrina start chatting and find out they both live in the mortal realm. Dashiell is from Revere, Massachusetts, and their football teams have played each other. And this is where I came up with my theory of the guy who looks very much like Dashiell in the Magician's Assistant episode. Dashiell has a cousin who lives in Westbridge, and they look very similar.
I like it. Does his cousin have a sister named Lillian who's about to get bat wings?
I'm going with yes. Dashiell says they should start rumors about people they know since they don't know many witches. Bobby did say rumors were entertaining after all, and they might as well entertain themselves. Dashiell starts a rumor about his school's linebacker being the captain of the synchronized swim team and sends it off. Sabrina writes that Libby's parents made her move out and sends that one off. Both Sabrina and Dashiell say how much fun it is. We get a montage.
Oh, according to the subtitles, Heard It Through the Grapevine by Marvin Gaye should be playing. You just get the subtitle lyrics and no actual song by said Mr. Gaye.
I didn't even get subtitle lyrics.
Oh.
Yeah. Also, how can they not afford that, but we can afford Lisa Loeb's I Do? Sabrina and Dashiell take turns writing rumors. Sabrina writes that a faculty romance rocks Westbridge, causing a sick witch to jump out of bed and be healed when he reads about it. Dashiell stares at Sabrina with an adoring look. Sabrina writes about a pregnant boy, which is shown to a priest and an inmate at the Witches' Council, causing both to laugh with joy. We get shots of Sabrina and Dashiell throwing rumors down the tube and goofing around with each other. Sabrina and Dashiell are talking about how fun it was to write rumors. Dashiell said even washing old witches would be fun if he got to do it with her. Bobby returns, proud of the gossip that they wrote.
He says, we haven't had this many rumors since Walter Winchell worked here. I did not write up my typical blurb about Mr. Winchell, so I'm just going to read from Wikipedia quickly for you. He was an American syndicated newspaper gossip columnist and radio news commentator. Originally a vaudeville performer, Winchell began his newspaper career as a Broadway reporter, critic, and columnist for New York tabloids. He rose to national celebrity in the 1930s with Hearst newspaper chain syndication and a popular radio program. He was known for an innovative style of gossipy staccato news briefs, jokes, and jazz age slang. Biographer Neil Gabler said that his popularity and influence turned journalism into a form of entertainment. Now, he uncovered both hard news and embarrassing stories about famous people by exploiting his exceptionally wide circle of contacts, first in the entertainment world and the Prohibition-era underworld, then in law enforcement and politics. He was known for trading gossip, sometimes in return for his silence. His outspoken style made him both feared and admired.
I mean, at some point, people just stopped telling you things, right? But it sounds like more people told him things.
Yep. As World War II approached in the 1930s, he attacked the appeasers of Nazism. Then in the 1950s, aligned with Joseph McCarthy in his campaign against communists.
Oh, boo.
He damaged the reputation of Josephine Baker as well as others who had earned his enmity. So, interesting folk who has all your dirty laundry.
Don't tell your secrets to people. Bobby sends them home, and Dashiell offers to take Sabrina home through his laundry chute. I think I'd prefer linen closet.
Yeah, less cramped.
They both agree to meet back there tomorrow at 3:15 p.m. As they leave, Bobby assures them that their rumors made an impact. At school, Libby is being comforted by her friends as she talks about her parents threatening to evict her. Sabrina notes that this is odd. Next, Miss Quick and Mr. Kraft walk down the halls, holding hands and sneaking into the library together. Sabrina is shocked. Then Harvey shows up, appearing heavily pregnant. Sabrina decides this is all a major coincidence, which is her MO from the Fear Strikes Up a Conversation episode, where she was like, no, I'm sure this has nothing to do with magic. She's real good at denial. Harvey also says that he has a craving for veal and jelly. Sabrina gets home and calls for her aunts, but they don't answer. She walks in on Salem in the dining room with 4 other men, then remembers the rumor she wrote about Salem becoming a mob boss. Salem introduces her to the heads of the 4 families of Westbridge: Don Calamari, Don Amici, Don Tutti Frutti, and Don the Don Don. Sabrina tells him he's not in the mafia, it's just a rumor. Salem tells her she should be reading her magic book because then she would know any rumors started in the other realm become real in the mortal realm. She asks how to make it stop, but he doesn't tell her. Sabrina says she'll just ask the ants. Salem is surprised she didn't start a rumor about them. Oh no, she says.
And you know, if Salem can't take over the world, I think main mafia boss of Westbridge is a good runner-up to taking over the world.
Yes, for sure. Also, I'm now realizing how very many different sets there are in this episode because we have the rumor mill that's new. We're now going to go see Zelda and Hilda in a truck that's new. And then we're going to go on a UFO that's new. Zelda and Hilda are arguing with Zelda reading a map. Hilda got them lost. They both start screaming as a UFO appears and beams them up. Back at the house, Sabrina wonders where they were abducted to.
I've got a warehouse down by the waterfront for that kind of stuff, chimes in Tutti Frutti.
As he's holding a cigar, and I was like, there's a lot of cigars in this season of Sabrina. Zelda and Hilda are trapped in the UFO and still arguing with a farmer stuck between them. It's his 4th abduction this month.
My wife's going to kill me if I'm late with the ice cream again.
Do you think you get a punch card? What do you think you get with your 5th abduction?
Death, because you've lost 4 organs so far. How many organs can you lose before you die?
Oh, you can lose 1 lung. You can lose 1 kidney. You can lose an appendix. We can count that sort of as an organ.
Gallbladder.
You can lose part of your liver because it will regenerate. If they took a section of intestine, you could maybe work with that. I think that's about all you could lose.
Are eyeballs organs?
I don't know what eyes are.
I mean, they're also donor if we're going by things.
That's true.
That can be surgically removed without you dying, or you can donate.
Your tongue is a muscle, so that doesn't count.
Correct.
Skin is an organ. They could take a section of skin.
It's true. He's going to need a lot of punches on his punch card.
An alien approaches Hilda, and the farmer tells her they're ready to remove her organs. Hilda yells at the alien to back off, so it approaches the farmer instead. Zelda starts to realize whose fault this is. There's a third witch they haven't thought of. The alien takes the farmer out of the room.
Thanks a lot. I hardly use my liver, he says as he's drug out.
And I said, I don't believe that because you need your liver to process alcohol. Harvey is even more pregnant at school later that day. Libby is crying at her locker with a vanity table in the hallway. Her parents kicked her out and said they don't love her anymore and never did. Honestly, from Mrs. Chesler, I could see it. Sabrina needs to find Calzone. She leaves as Miss Quick and Mr. Kraft get frisky in the hallway.
Oh, Willard, call me Vice Principal Kraft.
Ugh. Sabrina stomps back into the rumor mill as Dashiell shows up. All the rumors they wrote came true, and they need to find Calzone.
We learn that Dashiell's sister is now a unicorn.
Dashiell says they need advice and asks if Sabrina's Quizmaster can help. She summons him, and he appears wearing a skirt.
There's a rumor going around that you've got something to do with this hemline.
And all I could think was his outfit made him look like a ladybug.
We're really emphasizing his fantastic legs in the past couple episodes as well.
Was he wearing shorts when he went to go play squash with RuPaul in the last episode, too?
I think so.
Salem is still holding court with the other Dons.
I cannot abide a cat who would let his owners give him a name that robs him of respect.
So he gives the order to whack Fluffy, then changes his mind and tells them that he wants Fluffy to wake up with a mouse head in his bed. On second thought, he wants them to bring him the mouse head. Sabrina is explaining everything to Quizmaster, who says he told her not to take the easy way out. She knows rumors are bad things. She claims there are a lot of things she used to know that turned out not to be true. For example, she used to be pretty sure that people couldn't fly. That reminds Dashiell that he gave his cousin Lillian bat wings. In the UFO, the farmer is returned smoking. Zelda noticed that they undid the farmer's restraints to examine him. She thinks they can trick the aliens into releasing them, then they can fight free and fly the UFO home.
Please, before they touch me again, says the farmer. Oh, you love it, says Hilda.
Hilda also notices the farmer should get his mole checked. Hilda knows a lot about moles, doesn't she?
Molly, rest in peace.
It's so long since we referenced Molly. Quizmaster asks Dashiell who his Quizmaster is. Dashiell says it's his uncle, Calzone. Quizmaster knows him and sends Dashiell to see if he's at his Stromboli stand. Dashiell leaves and Quizmaster immediately tells Sabrina that Dashiell is trouble. Calzone has a score to settle with Quizmaster after he got him kicked out of the Quizmasters for cheating. Calzone tried to get Sabrina to fail to get her license to embarrass Quizmaster. Her only hope is to get the troubles she caused to fade away by writing a vicious rumor about herself. She sits down and starts typing. And Quizmaster is back in pants that are striped with a polka dot vest and a Roman numeral print shirt. Sabrina is back at school the same day, sitting on a teacher's desk when a crying Libby walks in. As soon as Libby sees Sabrina, there's a magical sound, and Libby says she just heard a rumor about her. She wonders if it's true. Sabrina pulls out dentures to show that it's true. Libby walks down the halls, yelling that Sabrina has no teeth. Everyone laughs as the toothless Sabrina follows down the hall. Next, Mr. Kraft and Ms. Quick hear the rumor, and a magical sound signals the end of their relationship. Harvey sees Sabrina, and his pregnant belly disappears. He blames it on salt, then offers to pre-choose Sabrina's food, but stops her from smiling. Which makes me feel a little bit bad that I'm rooting so hard for Dashiell when Harvey offers that sweet little line, but still want Dashiell. Ms. Quick tells Sabrina there's a phone call for her.
Can you make it quick? I need to call the smart women who make foolish choices hotline.
Libby is talking to her mother, who is telling her to move back in. On Sabrina's call, someone asks her to testify against Calzone, and she eagerly agrees. Salem is still with the other Dons when there is flashing and shaking. Hilda and Zelda have arrived back home in the UFO with the farmer. There's a magical noise, and suddenly the mob bosses talk about how Sabrina has no teeth. They all leave as Hilda and Zelda ask Salem where Sabrina is. The Witches' Council called her in. The aunts head out to meet her there.
Guess I wasn't meant to be a mob boss. Burps. Oh, I think I'm garlic intolerant, says Salem.
The judge says they'll have to hold Sabrina's Quizmaster responsible for all the trouble she caused unless she can produce Calzone. The judge zaps Sabrina's teeth back in because she's disgusted. Well, I guess the judge actually smacks the gavel to get her teeth back, and it's the same gavel Gordy used in the last episode. Sabrina tells her that there are witnesses that may know more about Calzone's whereabouts as Dashiell cringes.
He says, who may have more information about the weasel's whereabouts. Now, just a moment. Is this Calzone a weasel? Because we've been looking for a man, exclaims the judge.
The judge calls Dashiell to testify. She asks where Calzone is, but he says he doesn't know. Sabrina knows he's lying, but the judge arrests Quizmaster.
You can't do this. I've got tenure, Quizmaster shouts.
He's had a rough time with this girl, hasn't he?
He might want to look at retiring.
Fired, arrested. I think after Sabrina, he's done.
Doesn't make enough to not live with a creepy mouse roommate.
He's got student loans to pay off.
Oh, yeah.
Sabrina runs after him, but Dashiell stops her. Sabrina yells that her Quizmaster was right about him, but he rubs his head and they disappear to the rumor mill. That would be the most awkward way to cast spells, to have to rub your head. How do you do that sneakily? At least Sabrina can do little points.
Do you think, like, that's not actually, like, Calzone convinced him that's the way to cast magic, so Dashiell's really just casting magic without, like, pointing the finger, but he thinks he has to rub his head and it doesn't actually contribute to the spell casting?
I firmly believe this is Donald Faison improving.
Yes, but in world justification that no one else has to rub their head, I'm blaming Calzone.
Yes, we can blame Calzone for this. Dashiell needs Sabrina to know that he had nothing to do with Calzone's plan, but he explains that he lied because the council can only send Calzone to jail, and that would be fun for him. Dashiell wants Calzone to suffer. He's currently hanging out in the mortal realm, so Dashiell writes a rumor that Calzone comes clean and vows to spend the rest of his life cleaning up dog parks, then sends it off. We get a quick scene where we see Calzone appear in a dog park with a big pooper scooper. At the rumor mill, Sabrina types up something and hands it to Dashiell, who reads the addition, barehanded. Again, back at the park, the pooper scooper disappears from Calzone's hand. Sabrina and Dashiell hug and then kiss. Just then, Hilda and Zelda show up. Dashiell tries to take the blame, but Sabrina is still grounded. Dashiell's parents are making him clean up his cousin's guano. The end tag. Hilda and Zelda are yelling out supplies that Sabrina needs to take to clean old witches. She knows they're just trying to gross her out, but it's not working. Zelda gives her one last item, a tongue scraper. Sabrina still doesn't buy it and leaves for the other realm, leaving Hilda and Zelda to gross out over the tongue scraper. And that is our second to last episode for the season.
Wow, wow, wow.
Any final thoughts, Sky?
I'm sad we won't get Salem in his tiny mob uniform moving forward.
Our next episode is our season finale, season 2, episode 26, Mom versus Magic. What do you think it's about, Sky?
How old is Sabrina Spellman?
17.
So we're going to meet Sabrina's mom. Somehow we're going to get away with the fact that even though Sabrina isn't 18, her mom will not be turning into a giant ball of wax. Can't wait to hear how that's the case and that justification. Either the mom is going to learn about magic or knows about magic and is going to try and dissuade Sabrina in some form. Maybe Sabrina will consider going to Peru for an archaeological dig and to meet Paddington. We could have a Paddington and Sabrina crossover.
Oh, no. Well, tune in next week to see if Paddington appears. In the meantime, like, share, rate, subscribe to this podcast. Do it as a birthday present for me.
A belated birthday present.
Pretty belated by the time this one comes out. You can email us at somethingwitchypod@gmail.com and follow us on Instagram at somethingwitchypod and TikTok at something.witchy.pod. Until next time,
stay meowgical.